Hello. In this short presentation, I'm going to explain to you how Sense allows employees to clock in and clock out using their mobile phones and how we can verify that. I'll also touch upon what some of the challenges are if you do not use the Sense technology to do this. So Sense allows employees to clock in and clock out using phones when combined with the Sense gateway in order to get completely verified clock-ins. There's no GPS required, so it completely protects the employee's privacy. Also stops a common kind of complaint employees have when GPS is being used, which is a battery runs down. It's super accurate 100% of the time, all the time. It's impossible to trick the system. The Sense Gateway knows exactly where the employee is when they clock in or clock out. As a result, that means you get zero payroll errors, super accurate time. There's no user frustration. It always works. Employees don't end up having payroll errors because they've missed a clock in or a clock out. And more importantly, it works with both old and new smartphone models. And that's quite important because not everybody has the latest and greatest phone. So how does it work? All you need to do is just plug a Sense Gateway into a convenient location where employees enter or exit the building. The employee will then clock in and clock out on their mobile phone as normal, and the gateway detects the vicinity of the phone and transmits up to the cloud to say that the phone was actually seen at a specific location when the employee clocked in and clocked out. So that gives us a verified location, and it works every time in a consistent fashion. Sense gateways are extremely affordable, and as a result, you'll get a return on investment literally within days because it will totally eliminate any clock-ins or clock-outs which aren't completely accurate and verified. It's really easy to install. You just have to plug it in. It has its own inbuilt networking technology, so you don't even need to connect it to your Wi-Fi system. But you may ask, well, why can't we just do this with phones using GPS or possibly QR codes as verification? Well, you could do, but there's a huge number of challenges when using this type of technology. And I've covered this in a previous video. There's a link available to the bottom right of this presentation, GPS Nightmares, and that explains in real detail the issues and problems that employees will have when using GPS to clock in and clock out. And furthermore, some of the challenges it causes downstream in the payroll department. But just as a summary, some of the issues and problems that employees report when using this type of technology to clock in or clock out is that they can't actually clock in or clock out even though they're in the right place. The software stops them from doing this, so they get really frustrated. Or it's automatically clocked them in or out when they're in the wrong place. Again, equal frustration because it creates payroll errors. Or they've just left work and they've tried to clock out and they can't. Okay, so all of these things actually snowball into a situation where employees will stop using the system. What this means is that payroll have to chase managers for missing clock records. Managers try and do their best. They try and fill in the missing time. But of course, if they forget, then they're going to make an educated guess. And those educated guesses could end up costing you real money. Sometimes, because there's so many errors, you end up extending payroll cut-off times, which means employees may not get paid for the time that they've worked, or there's a large gap between the payroll cut-off time and the actual payroll running. And these type of systems, because they're not consistent, it's often very easy to actually get erroneous clock in or clock out and pass those off as being accurate. I'll go into a little bit more detail about this because you may be wondering, why is it so difficult? Why is it so difficult to get time and attendance based tracking or location verification on mobile phones? Well, in a nutshell, both Apple and Google, who make Android, have done everything they possibly can do to make sure that if you are a phone user, then no one can verify your location accurately unless you let them do so. And even in the case where you let them do so, it's not always going to do it consistently. And the reason it won't do that is because sometimes battery life will change the level of accuracy, and I explained that in the video that I referenced on the previous slide. Or, for example, the phone itself might think that the application is asking for specific location information too many times, and it might shut it down, or it might make it less accurate. The bottom line is that all of these issues then cause problems. But you may think, well, actually we can do this if I share my location with my friend or my husband or wife or my son or daughter. Well, the reason why you can do that and it works more accurately is because these are special functions within the phone that Apple and Google have allowed, but they're not available to any third-party developers. It's just for the users themselves to use. So what about the companies that actually claim to offer this? Well, all I would say is go and have a careful look at the reviews on the App Store. Often you will see the things which I've mentioned in the previous slide. It's not accurate, it clocks people in and out automatically, it doesn't allow people to clock in or clock out. Users are very frustrated about this. So, are there any options? Yes, the option is specialized hardware, which is being built by us, Sense, the Sense Gateway, which allows you to solve this problem. One question which we do get asked is, will the Sense Gateway allow auto clock in and clock out? And the simple answer to that is no. And the reason behind that is because, again, both Apple and Google have done everything possible to stop phones being automatically tracked. Imagine if your phone, when it moved through a particular location, automatically sent your location to somebody in the background without your knowledge. Yeah, well, that's what Apple and Google don't want to happen, and so they have safeguards in place. So, for example, on an Apple phone, an iPhone, if the application goes into the background or your screen goes off on your phone, then Apple automatically stop transmission of any details which provide your location. So that's a safety measure. Google do it slightly differently, but the net effect is the same. We don't get consistency, we get errors, and you're back to square one. So are there any options at all for auto clocking in and clocking out? Not for phones, it's just not possible. However, we can provide this capability if you use our own Sense tags or the Sense Solo device. And if you need some more information about that, please ask a member of the sales team. So at Sense, we allow you to track time and attendance for all different types of workers with all different types of technology. Some work better than others depending upon what you want to do. For example, like the mobile phone, which I've just described. We've got a little bit more information here on this table and more information on our website as well at www.sense.hr. Thank you for listening. Hopefully you found this useful. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. Thank you.